Hi guys, I'm Nina.
I'm Ethan.
And we are Bloody Essentials. Just a few quick announcements. We have some upcoming appearances. We will be at the Music Box here in Chicago, July 25th for Horror House's 2-year anniversary. They have an interactive screening of Scream 2. You do not want to miss that. When this episode drops, it'll be tomorrow. So, hey, how about that? Get your tickets before they sell out, okay? August 2nd through the 4th, we're going to be at Flashback Weekend here in Chicago again. And then August 16th through the 17th, we will be at Ohio TerraCon. I'm really excited about that. And
Absolutely.
Yeah, they got a lot of indie filmmakers, so that'll be really cool. Ethan, will you tell our listeners more about our trivia event in case they're not tired of hearing it already?
Right. Every week, but I'm going to do it again. We're having a trivia event in October, the 1st or 2nd week. What we're going to do is we're going to take our Patreons first. Then anybody who wants to come on, they can reach us via our socials or our email. We're going to put everybody's name in a bucket, pick the names out so everything is fair. We have a first and a second place prize. The first place prize is a gift bag from Bloody Essentials worth $75 to $100. And the second place prize is from $50 to $75. We've got all kinds of signed merchandise, independent films, socks, hats, gloves, all kinds of different stuff. We've been putting these together for the past, 3 months?
Yeah.
We're really excited. We've got a lot of stuff in store. So reach out to us and let us know that you want to do it. And we're going to have a great time.
All right. And we are doing a very special episode. This really is a special episode. We have, I can't believe this. Dungeon of Deadly Delights, Rob and Melody. This is a special episode because this is your guys' 1-year wedding anniversary, and I cannot believe you guys are deciding to spend it with us.
Happy anniversary!
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. No, it's actually fitting because I met her at a horror convention. She was actually she was a makeup artist at the time, and I was just literally just cutting my teeth in the business at that point, and so yeah, this is definitely like a fitting thing for us to be talking about horror, because honestly horror did bring so much into our lives, like including each other and our son. So anybody that says the horror doesn't bring things to you is
facts.
Love it. Now you guys met at a horror con. How long ago was that? Because you guys said you've only been married a year, right?
12 years ago.
12 years ago.
What's the holdup, Rob? Why'd you wait so long?
I wouldn't marry him. It was me. I'm the problem. It's me.
I mean, not to get into the dirt, but we did have a lot of growing up to do. Had a lot of changing, learning how to deal with each other. We're both we have very much in common, and I don't know. I guess you can say we're sort of like alphas in that respect, and so it's just basically I don't know, learning to become friends first before we actually take the plunge. And we were also really terrified of marriage too.
Oh yeah, so. We'd both been married before, so we were both yeah, no, we're good with just being partners. And then and we had to go through a time period where we split for 6 months, and we actually worked on ourselves. We worked on our friendship with each other, and then we moved back in together. And we said, you know what? If we don't kill each other after this year is up, let's just do it. Let's take the plunge. Let's get married.
Yeah, I think some people kind of, I don't know, they take that kind of stuff into account, I don't think. And I think the reason why our marriage is going to be stronger than other people's is because we went through the trials and tribulations, the slings and arrows and all that stuff before we, gave, ourselves to each other. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of people just kind of jump into it, and then they don't necessarily know too much about each other. And then they find out about all their quirks and issues and stuff as they're married. And it's just I think that's why the divorce rate's so high, to be honest with you.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. Not to make this a relationship podcast, but yes.
It could be.
Probably not a good idea. No, I've been divorced in the past. So yeah, it's definitely, it's way too easy to get married. It really is. And people get married way too often and way too easily. Like, it needs to be as complicated as divorce makes it. Like, you need to go to court, sit in front of a judge, and like explain why you think you should be together. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Let's do the same thing for divorce. So why, like, you know, let's pay $500 to go to see the judge. You know, and yeah, I think that that's really cool that you guys took the time to get to know each other and, you know, focus on yourselves as well as like learning about the other person.
Took a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the token to take away from this episode for, you know, your 1-year wedding anniversary. That's awesome.
Don't just jump into it. I mean, that's the only advice I can give anybody. Just don't.
Take the time to get to know that person's quirks, all their crazy, like everything that makes them tick. Because, you know, you never know. Like, there might be that, you know, ADHD non-medicated person that might want to choke you in the middle of the night for snoring.
All right.
You know?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And now, you know, we work together in horror. And, you know, I mean, some people might be like, well, who's he to work with his wife for? You know, it's like Rob Zombie. Like, God forbid he wants to work with his
That's why.
wife. Oh, wow.
Listen,
I never understood why people got so upset about Rob working with Sherry. I never understood the vitriol.
I know so many filmmakers that work with their wives, or just, you know, band members that tour with their wives, and like, hats off to you guys if you want to spend that extra time with your wife or significant other. Like, I mean,
he's not the only one. Mike Flanagan does it with Katie.
Mike Flanagan does it. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
We find it to be actually really good bonding time. We actually get to hang out and just film and have a great old time together. You know,
it's bond over horror.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So we get to like, watching watching your guys' videos, like you can definitely feel like that there's a true connection there and stuff, because that's why I asked you, I was like, how long have you guys been together? Because it doesn't feel like it's only been a year of marriage. You know, you guys have a really strong bond, and it shows on camera. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Aww,
I hope so.
Thank you.
No, I mean, you know,
he's really good at editing.
Yeah.
He is, and that's a whole other conversation.
We were actually talking about that before you got on. About editing you do.
Because I do the editing for our show, and I'm just like, I thought I was all right, but now I'm like, don't even ask me to do any editing again, because like I'm nothing compared to these guys. Like, this is incredible. Just the opening, I was like, holy cow.
Well, I think that the whole thing is like, I've been dealing with producers and the editors and stuff for years, and you know, like, not to throw anybody under the bus, but you know, everybody has their own schedule, and you know, like, it just seems like, you know, if somebody doesn't want to do something, they're just not going to do it or whatever. So I just felt like it was the right time to teach myself, so I won't have to worry about having to deal with anybody. You know what I mean?
For the past couple of years, I've been telling him too. I was like, you know what, babe? I think you really need to learn how to edit your own show. This is even before I got on the show. I was like, you really need to learn how to edit your own show so you can have full control.
Yeah.
So nobody can take your property away from you. You can do it at your own pace. You can release it when you want to release it. And one day he got fed up, he got frustrated, and he sat down and he learned how to do it. And I am so proud of him for doing that.
And I love
that was even before I popped on. He learned how to do it, and he just keeps getting better and better and better. And
no, I love it. I love the editing process. At first, I can, you know, understand why people would be so uptight about it, but now, you know, like, you know, when you have, you know, your own editing control, it's like you can basically do whatever you want with your property. You know what I mean? And the whole thing with the Dungeon of Deadly Delights, really, honestly, like, you know, from the gate has always been, you know, when we started doing the YouTube show, we wanted it to look like an episode every single time. So, you know, somebody's like, you know, looking forward to like an episode of like a TV show or whatever. You know what I mean? I didn't want to just do the whole, you know, we get on and we just, you know, like there's tons of people that do that, and you know, like, you know, the more power, but like we just wanted to do something a little bit different in terms of our structure and, you know, just the cadence and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, it's cool it's cool when you guys, like, I watched your vampire episode and I really enjoyed it because it's one of my favorite creatures. But it was really cool. Like when you guys were talking about a specific movie or a scene, you showed that while you were talking. So like if you weren't familiar with the movie or if you hadn't seen it recently, you could see exactly what you were talking about. And, you know, that helped as a visual person, you know.
Right.
It works, you know.
Well, as you guys know, there's a lot of people in the world that have the attention span of a gnat. And if you don't have some sort of visual acuity that's like grabbing their attention, it's like they're automatically going to flip off. You know what I mean? A lot of people.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with this, the whole thing with us, and I'm sure, you know, with your products as well, is that you're trying to make it as stimulating as possible so people actually like stay on. That's the hardest part of the game, to be quite honest, is, you know, just to get not only just eyes on your thing, but also, you know, to have people just stay focused on that thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Everybody's the dog from Up.
Well, yeah, because you've got TikTok now where it's like 10-second videos. And
Yeah.
You just scroll. People are just used to scrolling constantly. So if you don't grab them within the first 10 seconds, they just keep going. So of course, yeah. But I wanted to ask you guys, like, what sparked your love for horror? You guys have been in it for so long. Like, what drew you to it initially?
I think it's two different stories, to be quite honest. So I guess I'll start first, but if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Go ahead, babe.
I was actually in love with horror since I was about 6 years old. I you know, like, I know, you know, like, there's a lot of stuff to talk about in terms of his issues or whatever, but like when I saw Michael Jackson's Thriller, like that changed the whole thing for me in terms of, you know, not only just my love for like horror, but all things dark. And, you know, and just like being a fan of film, my dad, you know, used to show me a lot of films and stuff growing up. And I was just so fascinated by it that like I would know what a grip was by the time I was like 12 years old. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of that really helped with my, you know, kind of putting my foot in the door when it comes to the industry, because like I kind of like knew what I was talking about already. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So, you know, like even when it came to the, I guess the interview, you know, things that I'd done, you know, people just felt like, you know, the whole thing with the interview situation, like, you know, like I had to learn to, and I'm sure you guys understand this, like you pull that whole veil of celebrity away and you get so much more out of that person. You know what I mean? Like if I was talking to, say, like Bill Moseley or something like that, you know, like if I just had it, you know, like if I was doing a radio show, whatever it is, and I just basically just had a virtual couch and like just, you know, made jokes and, you know, made them laugh or whatever, that's more amazing than, you know, just being like, so, you know, let me give you a canned interview and ask you about your career every 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with just like, I don't know. I've always been like a huge, as you can see in the back here, like I love Joe Bob Briggs.
Me too.
And I think a lot of that kind of timing and cadence stuff came from him watching Monster Vision and stuff back in the day. And, you know, like even just having knowledge of something, definitely a lot of that comes from Joe Bob too. And I think definitely like that helps out with a lot of stuff that I've done in terms of horror, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my initial love of horror actually started with my mom when I was a little baby. She took me to go see the first Aliens in the theater. She thought it was going to be this cute alien movie, not realizing it was so I think that's where it started. And then I grew up with watching the old black and white horror movies and like it, you know, it and them, the old Frankenstein and Dracula. And then my mom got me into Elvira. And as I got older, I started to fall in love with the makeup. Like, how'd they do that? How did they do that? And I started to teach myself how to do makeup with working with my mom in theater because she did a lot of theater. So I would be backstage working with dancers, ballerina dancers, theatrical people, learning how to do makeup. And I just really started getting in love with the whole blood splatter. And then as I've gotten older, I get more and more into the gorier stuff. So
in terms of like not even just the fact of what they'd how they did that. That you want to do that.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. I was like, oh, how they do that? Let me practice, and I did. Like I literally learned. I think my first FX makeup thing I ever did was paper mache. It was glue and flour and starch and newspaper. As I think I was in junior high. So you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah. But I would sit there, and my mom is an artist, so we would be sometimes just making the sculptures, and we would be watching these old time horror movies, doing art together. So I think my mother is the reason why I really love horror, and she probably knows that.
How many years were you in the game when I met you at that horror convention? Like in terms of makeup, it was like,
I don't know. I was in the horror game. I was in the film industry game for like 15, 20 years, something like that. I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay.
Do I get to give my age away?
No, actually, when I met her, she was working with There's a movie that she was working on that you'll never see, but involved a couple guys from Mushroom Head, and you were promoting that one, right, Mel?
Yeah.
So I saw her, and it's like the whole thing, like I had no idea what her status was, and I heard Dreamweaver going on in my head and whatnot, and yeah, it was the whole thing. So I literally wrote a manifesto to her, telling her why she should talk to me. Because at first she wanted nothing to do with it.
No, get away from me.
Guys, take notes. Like, come on. That's amazing.
That was something she actually asked me to do. She's like, why don't you just give me a reason why I should know?
Yeah.
Oh, I like you, Mel. You know what you want.
Exactly. But yeah, that was I think that's our big reason for love of horror. I think our parents really got us into horror.
Oh,
I just always been a dark kid.
I wasn't. I was a sunshine and bubble kid.
No, I've always been a dark kid. I've always loved I don't know how you guys were, but like when I was a kid, like I loved horror, but like I was also like terrified of blood too. So that was a weird thing until I was like, maybe 10 or something. I was like, oh, But I think, when I finally became a teenager, like that's when I really dug deep. Like I was working at a video store, and so we, that's when video nasties were still a thing, and that's what really got it.
Yes.
Like, hey guys, I got this tape. You should check it out. It's called Cannibal Holocaust, or I spit on your grave or something.
Oh, yes.
He knows those are two movies I had the hardest time watching. Like,
I still haven't watched Cannibal Holocaust. I still haven't seen it.
Well, even Evil Dead 2 at the time was a video nasty as well.
Nah.
Back in the early 90s it was.
Yeah.
I watched that one with my mama too.
Yeah, back in the early 90s. No, not Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead.
I know. I watched that one with my mama.
Yeah, the original was like.
I watched Hostel with my mama too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I could easily interview you guys, so I won't do it.
No, you're fine.
We're just talking horror.
Yeah, no. I was always into spooky things. Like I was obsessed with witchy stuff. Like when I was a kid, and anything like ghosts, and of course I watched Scooby-Doo and stuff like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And Bewitched and things like that were just on, and then interest delved a little bit further this way, and I was the goth kid in the back of the classroom in middle school and high school, and I was into theater and all that stuff. So and then of course I had my Edgar Allan Poe phase. Like, yeah, I was always gravitated towards darker things, and I was not a sunshine and bubbles type of person.
Oh no, sunshine and bubbles when I was younger. As I got older, that changed.
That changed fast, yeah.
What about you?
About 16 years old, it changed.
I've always loved horror and the darker side of things. My parents tried to make me that bubbly, sunshiny, wonderful kid. I was raised very religious.
Yeah.
So
they weren't
having it. But
pattern. There's a pattern here.
Hey,
they were not having it, but well, it still turned out that way anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Like I always had a certain style of dress, and I remember my mom saying, like, in younger days, like it's probably just a phase. And then I think I came to some get together. I think I was in my 30s, and she said, "This is really you, isn't it?" Like, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Mom.
It's okay.
I understand that. Growing up, I went to private school, so I had to wear a uniform. So, and then Sunday was church clothes.
Yeah.
So really, Saturday's the only day I could dress however I wanted. And of course, when I was younger, I couldn't wear any, Evil Dead, or I couldn't wear any of that because that just wasn't happening. Till I got about 13,
that was of the devil.
And then, then of course my mother was still like, no, we're not going to do that. My dad was like, let him express himself. It's a phase. He'll get through it.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like, even though
it's not a phase.
No.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, even though my mom was like that, I guess she was like more in the saving face kind of, situation when it came to like what her friends would think of me or whatever. She never really censored me, to be quite honest. That's one thing I will.
I don't
absolutely
think anybody can censor you, babe.
No, I'm just saying, like, she would let me listen to the music that I wanted to listen to. I could watch the movies that I wanted to watch.
Mm-hmm.
She never really limited me from anything. And then my dad, on the other hand, he was just another animal altogether. And he would just show me, like, the most horrible stuff at, like, 5 years old, And that's probably where I got, like, we would literally, like, watch, like, when I was 5 years old, he would, like, put on, I don't know, like, Andrew Dice Clay, and then we watch, like, I don't know, like, just some really, really crazy stuff that somebody my age should not be watching. You know what I mean? He didn't really care too much about that kind of stuff either. So yeah, it made me good or bad.
My dad didn't like horror movies. My dad didn't like horror movies, but I could watch like Rambo and Death Wish and stuff with them, and I was like,
"What's up with that?
What exactly is the difference?"
Yeah,
exactly. I don't get it.
My dad was a little more easygoing about it. He's like, "It's entertainment. It's fine. He's not a serial killer."
Yeah.
See, my mom would sneak off and watch stuff with me.
I'm saying like,
but my dad was the super strict one.
My dad was too, yeah.
He was raised Catholic. My mom was raised heathenish. My mom was like very hippie, and like they came together in a Baptist church. So I have that trauma. Thanks.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he would show me.
I was raised Baptist, so
you get it. Yeah,
I understand that trauma. So
yeah.
Ooh, wow, Baptist. Wow.
Oh, it's. I keep telling you, babe. It's a thing, man. It's a thing.
No, I know.
It's a thing.
Let me ask you this: were you IFB Baptist?
We were the super conservative. You weren't allowed. I had to wear the purity ring. Not allowed to dance. Not allowed to go to movie theaters.
Yo, me too.
Went to a private Baptist.
Yes, me too. Independent Fundamental Baptist.
Is that what it is?
You guys are
IFB.
You guys are like in Footloose or something.
I know. That was in the corner there, like.
It really was. So I actually do have an affinity for supernatural horror movies, like with nuns and stuff like that and demons. I absolutely love them because I'm like.
Yeah. No, I was raised Roman Catholic. It's a totally different thing, but it just
the Catholic guilt over there, man. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's rough in its own way. Like
what I've heard, yeah.
Being told you're going to hell all the time at 7 years old. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. Like,
I get it.
Sticks with you.
Right?
Jesus didn't like anything when I was Baptist. So
Right?
Go with it now.
oh man.
If you didn't save your virginity until the night you were married, you're going to hell.
I'll tell you what, this is actually really
I'm
funny.
going to hell.
This is actually really funny because years later, sorry, I'm going to do some name dropping here, but I had worked with Doug Bradley in the past, but like I actually had a conversation with him before because I was so Roman Catholic at that point as a child. The only movie that terrified me was Hellraiser. Even just the trailer for that movie freaked me the F out. You know what I mean? And yeah, like that was the only movie that like would just really just unnerve me. Like I'll never watch it. You know?
Wow.
That's the only one. And then I told him, he just laughed because he's the biggest atheist you'll ever meet in your life.
Have you watched it since? I assume.
What's that?
Have you watched it since or no?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm just saying as a young kid.
Right now.
No, as a young kid, that would be the one that freaked me out. Like I would have the worst time even considering watching something like that, just because of, you know, my background and, you know, like having to take communion, you know, act of contrition and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like hell was just such a, like, it was so ingrained in your head that was so, you know, so horrible that even like the trailer of Clive Barker's Vision was the only thing that would just make me go, oh God. And really believe it too. Like really believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet Clive would get a kick out of that as well. That's awesome.
I think so.
Yeah,
for sure.
We went
right.
We went from marriage counseling to religion bashing. So
Fine.
Say anarchy, baby. We're all about
you know what? I mean, I'm not Baptist anymore because the IFB is crazy. But excuse me, I am a Christian. I go to church, but my church is not crazy. They're like, yeah, Jesus loves you. You make mistakes. Okay.
Right.
Let's go. I'm like, oh, is that how that works? So
yeah. So you can just enjoy a horror movie and not have to, you know, have people worrying about, you know, or have people say to you that, you know, it's for, you know, it's the devil's, you know, whatever, and you're going to do this because of this movie, and that's
absolutely,
right,
yeah. I was telling Nina, I want a T-shirt made that says "I love Jesus and Jason."
That's great. I like that.
I'm like, that's pretty much how I am. I'm like,
that's me in a nutshell. Yeah.
I love Jesus, but I also want to see this guy get his head ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jesus will love me anyways.
If you want to see, if you want to see somebody like, you know, like really just walking around silently and, you know, with their footprints and stuff, just watching In a Violent Nature, you know, like it's
oh my God, that's a good movie.
It's got the same vibe, you know. Like just a guy really just vibing with Jesus's earth, you know? Like
did you say that's a good movie?
I liked it.
We'll talk after the program. So
I'm
looking at movies from a different perspective. I'm looking at it from an artist perspective. And that yoga scene, I really liked that.
It's pretty rad.
That was awesome. That was the best part of the movie.
That like the walking and the walking and the walking, boring. That the killing, oh yeah, like that.
The killing was great.
There's some very inventive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of new movies, I wanted to ask you guys because like I kind of feel there's a stone in my stomach because of something. Because like I'm a huge fan of X, the trilogy, and I don't know, man. I just don't feel like. I don't feel like Ty, you know, like I feel like he missed the landing a little bit with Maxine. And it hurts for me to even think about that.
Right. We haven't seen the movie yet because we were going to last Thursday, but for some reason, none of Chicago had it anywhere. So we were really pissed about that. But we're going to go next weekend and see it. But I have heard consistently, like people say that it's not as good as the other two. It kind of missed the mark a little bit. So
it hurts so bad for me to even say
now
that.
I saw it and I got it. I liked it. But I think if you've had religious trauma, you'll like it.
I mean, look, I
love it.
No, I mean, I don't want to get into like a whole thing about Maxine, but like, you know, it's not that I didn't get it. It was just like, yeah, Ty, I've seen Brian De Palma films. I get it. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what it felt like. Like more style over substance. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just kind of how I felt. And it really hurt me to just even say that out loud. Because
I get what
we
you're
have a kid named Pearl, for God's sake. We love this
Not
trilogy.
a kid, a kitten.
I have a dog named Pearl.
You have a dog named Pearl? Because of the Ty West movie?
No, but people think that. It's fine. I let them think that.
That's cool.
No, I if it's a bunch of stylized stuff and it's just a bunch of like not cameos, but like, you know, where it's just like an homage to this or an homage to that because it takes place in the 80s, like that's all right, but like there needs to still be a story there. So
yeah,
I do think that unfortunately for him, X and Pearl were filmed back to back and simultaneously. So that's great. But then when he was going to make the third chapter, I think that kind of bit him in the butt because he's had so much time in between them to where, you know, he's done other projects since then and stuff like that. So like that is probably, it's not as good and everything.
And Mia didn't help with the script. I think it was another thing too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was a producer on this one. But like, again, you know, like sometimes you can watch a movie and just feels like the director's going, huh? See what I did? See what I did there? Did you see that? You've seen Body Double, huh? Have you? Yeah, there it is.
Oh boy. He's done some Marvel movies since before this, right? Like, didn't he do that's probably why.
Who? Ty?
Yeah, didn't he do a Marvel movie or something?
No. But I'm kind of hoping that he takes because Mia was supposed to be in the Blade movie that's been like just in limbo for 3 years.
Yeah,
it'd be great if
they
that
need
was
to get on that already.
You know what
sorry.
I mean? I think Ty West Blade would be awesome. You know,
I would love to see a new Blade movie. I love the originals.
Yeah, I think Ty West Blade would be awesome. You know, I don't know if he would do something like that, but I don't know. I just hope you guys get a different perspective of Maxine. It just
we will definitely let you know for sure.
Well, Rob and I have different perspectives on that movie, so
I'm curious if it's going to be different between me and Ethan because obviously I'm a woman and I know it's a big shock, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
I have religious trauma, so
exactly. For different reasons. Yeah.
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 So
so watch it.
Yeah, that's a tagline for the show. I'm really stoked for Long Legs. I can't wait to see it. And I mean, if there's been a marketing campaign that's just been absolutely remarkable, that is definitely it.
And let's face it, Nicolas Cage can play anything.
Thank
that
you.
Man is Looney Tunes, but he is so good at what he does.
Yeah, I love it.
Have you guys been listening into our conversations today?
No.
What are we talking about?
We're probably having the same conversations, though.
Probably,
everything that we've talked about this weekend when we were all together, we've just talked about here. So
I was literally telling Ethan I'm going to see Long Legs Sunday with some friends of mine, and first off, it's directed by Anthony Perkins' son, which is amazing already. Nicolas Cage, huge fan of him.
Black Coat's Daughter and Gretel and Hansel were fantastic movies.
Yes, absolutely.
You know? Yeah,
and like the fact that they haven't shown what Nicolas Cage looks like in the movie, like that's very old school, traditional. And people in horror need to take a page out of his book because I am tired of trailers giving away too much. And this one, like, you turn on the trailer and instantly I feel like Silence of the Lambs. Like, it's got that gritty, like, crime solving type thing. And I'm just like, this is going to be good. Like, I just have a feeling about this. This is going to be fantastic.
I absolutely agree with you. I don't know if you saw, we have a trailer. What is it? Our trailer terrors.
Yeah.
Yes, that's our section for our trailer reviews. We just did one for Trap, and the M. Night Shyamalan movie coming out. and
very excited.
I had said
he's back as an actor.
the one thing that I never understood, because M. Night Shyamalan's basically like, oh yeah, she's like definitely thirsty for Josh Hartnett. But yeah, so anyway, she, excuse me, she. The one thing we talked about was that Silence of the Lambs. There's a lot of films that are being, kind of touted as, it's even better than Silence of the Lambs. Like, dude, that's just a bar you can't cross. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably something that's as great as Silence of the Lambs, right, but you're not going to jump over that bar. It's never going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Longlegs could be as great as Silence of the Lambs, but is it better? I can't. No, you can't. No, I'm sorry. You can't.
It's its own separate entity. Anybody that tries to emulate it or copy it will always fail. And the same thing goes with all of the great horror movies, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, several people have tried, Rob Zombie, Ty West included. Like, but it's not ever going to be like Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's not.
No.
So,
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
I know that tends to happen every once in a while.
I just don't like how people are trying to, say their movie's better than the bar. It doesn't make sense.
No.
Show
some humility. Like, come on, sit down.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I really hope that Longlegs is a masterpiece, but like, you're not going to bound over a masterpiece. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen.
I hope it's its own separate thing, and I hope it will hopefully stand the test of time. But like, it's too soon to make that call. But
I would absolutely love to see Micah Monroe in the spotlight. She absolutely deserves it. And, I really hope this film really does like some amazing things for her career, because we know her in the horror genre for years, of course, The Guest and, all the stuff she's done. But like, it's going to be great to see her in the spotlight and hopefully like, really kind of break through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Nicolas Cage has been in and out of the horror community so many times, but like, I'm excited for him too, because, this is apparently something completely different that he's never done before. And he does that a lot, but like, I don't know. Everybody says this is completely different. So I'm like, how different can you, like, how many times can you reinvent yourself and do something different? And he continues to amaze me. So I'm excited.
Well, he's a real solid method actor too. So,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw the trailer recently, but like, I guess they were looking at Micah's BPMs or something. There was some really important scene.
Yeah, she had her heart the first time she saw Nicolas Cage or whatever on set. Like,
her heart rate just shot up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be some really good FX makeup. I want to see that.
And the fact that they aren't showing him at all, like just the eyes, like I want to know so bad. Like, it's driving me nuts. And I have to
So like, he must have just been sitting there. I'm guessing it's because it's Nicolas Cage. Like, he's got his head down, right? And then Oz calls action. And then Nicolas Cage automatically just goes, oh, like all this shit that he's doing for this Longlegs character. Yeah, that would scare the fucking hell out of you. You know what I mean? Like,
pretty intense on set for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we hijacked the show with
that was actually one of my questions. I was like, what upcoming releases are you excited for? So like, you were literally answering some of our questions. So
actually, I don't know. Is there anything else you're really stoked for aside from, I know Trap is one of yours. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Trap.
I don't know. I mean, Cuckoo is definitely one of them that I'm interested in seeing. I still don't know what the hell that movie's about, but
honestly, I would really like to see more indie horror. So I was involved in the indie horror industry, excuse me, for so many years. I would like to see more indie horror movies coming out. Even if they're just putting it on YouTube and charging to see it on like for like $2 on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
I would like to see more of what the Gen Zers have in mind for horror.
For sure. There's a couple.
I would really like to see what this younger generation has in store for us.
Oh, yeah.
I know Rob's like, oh God, no. And I'm like, no, really, because Gen Z is the new, like, they're already 21. So they're up and coming, and I want to see what they've got in store. I know that sounds bad.
No, it doesn't sound bad.
I mean, but I know it's like, I'm really grateful for what's coming in the movie theaters, but I also want to see.
You're talking about like bodies, right?
Yeah, like bodies.
Yeah.
But I want to see
which was excellent.
Right, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
and I want to see what's.
You'd like to hear some new voices.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I want to hear the new voices. I want to see what the and also not only that, I want to see more from all over the world too. I want to see more Korean horror coming out. Thai horror has been doing really good. Swedish horror has been doing really good. Don't forget about Argentina and Mexico has been coming out with some really good horror movies too. Mexico did that one. What is it called?
The Coffee Table?
No, not the Coffee Table.
My God.
Where Evil Lurks or something like that.
Oh, When Evil Lurks. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Stuff that you can tell was never made to be like
a studio film.
That it's not going to be in the silver screen, but it's going to be streamed. So I want to see more. I want to see more streaming horror. I want to see a lot more of these indie. That's me. Rob is like he's into like the big ones. Me too. But I really get into the
nitty gritty.
The nitty gritty. Give me the C grade. Give me the B grade. It's okay. I want to see it all. Because you know what?
That was horror for the longest time. That was 70s and 80s horror. That was Friday the 13th and all these other things. Like, and I think that there's always going to be a place in horror for that. Always. Right. I'm excited for these are both indie films. Redhead. And that one is going to be screened at Ohio Terracon. I'm really excited about that. And then they're making a second one already, and that's really cool. That's basically it's a revenge flick, so that's going to be really cool. And there's another one.
What is the one with Willie Fitzgerald that's coming out? Oh, Strange Darling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So apparently it's like a cat and mouse thing where she's, like being chased by a guy, I guess, and I guess there's like a whole other plot that, kind of like bleeds in. You don't necessarily know what's going on right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that looks great. That looks really good. Like I said, Cuckoo with Hunter Schafer that looks interesting. I don't know. I'm really stoked for Terrifier 3.
Yes.
It's Christmas horror.
Yes.
I'm just happy to see. I'm just happy to see Lauren Rivera back because that girl, honestly, like not only embodies, just the personality of, like a horror, like Scream Queen icon. She is 100% probably the most important in our modern times. You know what I mean? Like, she really, really came out into the forefront and became this entity that's like loved by everybody in in horror. And
she won the Fangoria like newcomer award or whatever last year.
Yeah, the Chainsaw Award.
They made that award for her basically. Like that's really cool.
Yeah. And plus, I just want to see what Damien does because he's already said like, I'm just gonna go full tilt on this one, and I'm be like, how the fuck could you go full tilt? Like,
that was in the first time
though. Before.
Right.
I will say, and this may be an unpopular opinion, like I am excited about the Christmas horror, and I loved Art way before anybody even knew who he was. But I really want to see more of what Terrifier 1 was. I want to see gritty, grimy, like independent horror. Like that's what it started out as, and I want that back. I want that Grindhouse feel back. And I know that's unpopular because a lot of people like 2, and 2 is great. And it's got a story, and I still want the story, but like, give me the Grindhouse feel, like you can still do it in an effective way. Like that's what I miss in horror.
We love Grindhouse.
Yeah,
we love Grindhouse.
Yeah, we love Grindhouse. Just the subgenre. We love the Grindhouse by Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Yes.
We even have a cat named Cherry Darling.
But I know what you're talking about. Having a more of a a starving artist feel to the movie.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, these are film students, fighting for every cent for the budget to make the movie.
That's what made the first one so charming.
Right. Like they're looking for those makeup artists that just want the IMDb credit, and some pizza.
Exactly.
Right.
But the whole thing is like, even though like, yes, it's become this own being, like this own beast. Like I am happy for Damien simply because I think when he was doing Terrifier, maybe even Terrifier 2, like he was working a full-time job, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that dude, like, really just, man, talk about just, you know, a change of life, you know?
He apparently just bought a house with the Terrifier 2 money. So,
like, God, you know how hard that is in this economy? We can't even buy a house.
In New Jersey, like, you know, who can afford a house on the East Coast?
Well, I mean, not only that, but like he was literally like getting scripts for like everything. Like all these studios were coming to him, like, yeah, do this, do this, do this, and he was like, nope.
I bet that felt really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I bet that felt so good.
I bet it was I bet it was a script for like The Exorcist Believer or something. It was probably like some, you know what I mean, like big projects. And he was just like, no, or art's my baby. I'm not going. I'm going to do my own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you would have done Exorcist Believer because that movie sucked. Sorry.
Well, you're not wrong about that.
You're not wrong that they fired him. Like they said he quit. He got fired.
You know,
Mike Flanagan is taking it over, and they're doing their whole new
absolutely.
thing.
And you remember what he did with Ouija, the sequel to Ouija. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's just it's going to be night and day when Flanagan takes over.
Mm-hmm. David Gordon.
God, I hope so.
I'm sorry. Don't do horror ever again. We're begging you.
I did hear something recently that
it's not your genre, my dude.
I did hear something recently that Flanagan was not ever going to do. He was going to just do happy endings from now on, which I'm kind of like,
why?
No,
you know, like,
I love anti-horror movies. I mean, not anti-horror, anti-hero movies.
I do too.
No, I'm saying like he would never. He's saying like
that out, okay?
No, he would never do something like The End of the Mist anymore. You know what I mean? He said like being a father has changed my perspective, and I'd rather do.
I think one of my favorite anti-hero horror movies that has come out recently has been Baghead.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, that's it!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! You've got to go watch that movie.
Yeah, Baghead was good.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Jeez.
No, please. I need more. I'm so like skittish around new horror, so I'm
kind of how I feel all the time. Like, okay, Mel. All right. Jeez.
That's why I'm on my phone watching a movie. Like, blah, blah, and he's like, "Hey, you're not giving me any attention." I'm like, "I'm watching a movie. I'm doing homework."
Yeah, you know, that's the other thing about the show is like we really do put like real work into it in terms of, you know, like for example, our episode that's coming up next week is To Catch a Killer. So, you know, basically what we're trying to do with the show now is we're trying to thematically connect it to something that people are excited about. So, you know, the fact that Longlegs is coming out, you know, of course, that seemed like the most opportunistic thing to do. So that episode is going to include the Bone Collector. What else is on there? Silence of the Lambs, of course.
Oh, so I can tell you exactly.
Prisoners is another one, the Denis Villeneuve film with
Seven Prisoners. I Saw the Devil, the Korean version.
Okay.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the Swedish version, the Bone Collector, and Silence of the Lambs. I did say that maybe we should do what?
Well, there was a couple. Kiss the Girls was one that you wanted.
I love that movie.
That's a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could have picked Kiss the Girls, or I could have picked like.
But it's in the
Copycat
same.
with
It's the
Sigourney
same
Weaver.
kind of genre as Bone Collector. So we already. Yeah.
We just like the whole thing is like, you know, obviously like Micah Monroe is playing an FBI agent. She's going after, you know, Nicolas Cage, a serial killer, and you know, like we just wanted to kind of focus on that subgenre.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, so there's some homework involved in that. You know,
I seriously will. I'll watch the movies I haven't seen, and I'll rewatch other ones, just because sometimes it's been a while, or you know, just we'll watch it again because you can catch things you didn't see before, and you'd be like, "Oh shit, I forgot about that," you know?
Yeah.
And I just love horror, so it gives me an excuse to watch a movie.
Yeah, like you know, like we not only do we watch the movies, but like I'm looking into, you know, even if I don't know about certain production histories and whatnot, like I just really want to like, you know, cram as much information in as I possibly can without making it like tedious and boring, but you know, like kind of make it feel like we know what the hell we're talking about too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why you'll see a lot of the times he's the fact check guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm the one that's actually talking about the movie or giving a synopsis of the movie.
Right. No, I love that because I'm really bad with facts. I've got to write them down and research them and stuff. I used to be able to like just spew this stuff off the top of my head, and now that I'm, not as old as Ethan, but I'm older. It's not. It doesn't come as easily to me anymore.
Oh, I don't care. I'm 45. I don't care.
No, I love it.
I just turned 48.
Oh, you guys are babies.
I'm 47.
So you get it. Yeah.
Yep,
well, there we go.
If I don't write it down, I will forget.
Yeah, that's ADHD on my part.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. You can't be ashamed about that stuff.
But yeah, no, it's seriously. That's why I also make sure to watch movies usually the week before.
Same.
So just to refresh, and to get excited about it again too. Because like today, today alone, I watched Prisoners and the Bone Collector.
Oh wow!
And the Bone Collector, man, that used to be that was in 1999. That used to be one of my favorite movies for the longest time. I could watch that over and over and over and over and over again.
Well, again, that's why we, record the show every 2 weeks, simply because we want to give each other enough time to be able to, figure this stuff out and, piece it together however it's going to work and digest it. And like if you do it every week, you're really kind of doing a disservice to the material, I think, because you're not giving yourself time to digest it all.
Yeah, and you're just pumping out.
He gets exhausted because he's doing all the editing.
Right.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally understand that. It's very time consuming. Most people don't realize how time consuming it can be.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, once I get on that editing board, man, oh God.
The OCD kicks in, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't come to bed.
No.
I wake up the next morning.
You can't stop once you've started. Like, you just got to
see him passed out on the couch with his headset still on.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. It's like, I'm sure you've had people ask you, like, hey, how'd you get to where you are and stuff. It's just like, honestly, you just really have to just do it. That's the only answer I have for anybody. Even if it's not like horror, or if it's anything, like, you just gotta try it.
Absolutely.
If you don't try, you'll never know if you could ever accomplish it. Here we are 15 years, 15 years into into a, whatever you want to call it, a career. But I remember when I first started, it's like, people were pushing me out that door. Like they wanted me nowhere near it, and it took like years of, not even just like, just trying to entertain people or like doing, like radio shows or whatever it was. Like, you really, really had to work really, really hard at it. It wasn't just like, hey, come on in. It was never, it was never that. It was never that way. And then
I will say, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, and then once you start like really like befriending these people and stuff, these people that you've been watching on film and whatnot, and you're just like, holy shit, like this is weird.
It is very discombobulating sometimes. I will say though, like, out of any other genre or business, like, horror is the only one of its kind where there are so many people that, yes, they make content, and granted there's so many podcasts out there already, it's a lot, but like, horror is one of the most welcoming communities that there is. And like, just going to conventions and meeting all these other like indie filmmakers and people that do this or that, and like, I don't know how half of them do it for a living, but like, it's insane. Like,
they have patrons.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But it's just there's no other celebrity in a certain genre where they would like just let you come up to them and like, they don't care if you ask them questions. They want to share advice or stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have that similar experience or not, but
honestly, we haven't done the horror circuit in terms of conventions in a very long time. So I don't know what the reaction would be.
Yeah, sadly, like we've been having to focus on like
I remember one time I was serving,
surviving, taking care of our kid.
I remember one time I was serving one time, and somebody said to me, "Hey, you're that horror guy," and that was like, that was kind of like, holy shit, you know what I mean? But like, no, I mean, it's not. It's such a strange thing. It's like, because as you guys, I'm sure you can attest, you got your regular job and stuff, and then it's like, some like studios asking you, like, interview somebody for some movie, you know what I mean? So it's sort of like this Bruce Wayne Batman type lifestyle, sort of, you know what I mean? Like, except Bruce Wayne with no money. Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like, if you think that you're just going to step into horror and just like make like millions on the fly, like you're absolutely kidding yourself. This has to be for passion, more than anything else. You know what I mean? It has.
Oh yeah. Even the people that have been making films for the past 20 years, just in the indie circuits, like they are not making money off of this. Like they are. It's purely for getting the word of mouth out there. That's why they do it, and they love doing it. So everybody could. It
has to be for passion of the genre.
Right. Exactly.
Things come and go. Things happen. There's ebbs and flows. Maybe you'll have some success here, and there'll be some dips there. Like, it's just like anything else in life. Like nothing is going to be just even keel the entire time.
That would be boring.
This is not the genre where people are just like, "Here, sir, take my wallet." Like, it's just not. When it comes to studios or producers, people are gonna say like, hey, maybe I'll, I make masks or whatever. Maybe I'll sponsor your show, and give you some free items to give away or something like that. But people aren't gonna just throw money at you.
No,
that's not gonna happen.
No, it does not.
It's not gonna happen.
No, it's not. Especially when there's, like I've said, like there's so many other people that are doing the exact same thing. So you have to find something that sets you apart, like what you guys have done, and it's great.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, but again, like you said, it's like there's so many people, doing it, and I love that people are doing it, but like, I mean, it does sort of become an issue for you guys or us or whatever, because there's so many different people. It's like you're just basically just kind of flushed into this pipeline that's just never ending, where your content just kind of is just swirling around and people don't really know about it. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
I haven't had anybody recognize me. Not between our show, not between my TikTok, nothing. Like,
I will go to Georgia and I will act like I bumped into you and be like, "Oh my God, no."
No, that's the thing. It's not about that.
You like, come to Georgia and just hang out with
I'm
us.
sure you guys would love Bloody Essentials to be like highly, highly successful. As I'm sure, like me and Mel would love to make Dungeons and Deadly Delights like a great like money-making machine. But right now it's honestly about it's got to be about the passion for what you're talking about. That's
Absolutely.
it,
Yeah.
That's why we do it. And even though our algorithm's just been like sabotaged, like we're not going to give up.
No.
Right.
No.
It'll catch on eventually.
Exactly. And for now, it's just cool to hang out every 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
To talk horror with your wife, like, or for us, like we get together every week and we just talk horror, and sometimes we do it every like twice a week, and just to get extra stuff out there so we don't have to, so we can take a weekend off or something like.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we just enjoy hanging out. Like that's why we do it, and we're passionate about telling other people about you guys or some person we met at a con that does some really cool art that nobody talks about. That's why we wanted to do this. So.
Like there's so many other great, like there's one Instagram account I just became friends with. It's Three Ladies, the Pillow Fright podcast. They are phenomenal. Like they're like, just the tech that they're using is great. Like just everything's just beautifully shot, and their numbers are so low on YouTube. And I'm just like looking at this and smacking my head going, how is this happening? You know what I mean? Like, how is this happening? I don't understand. It's crazy. I honestly think.
Years ago.
I mean, do you guys honestly feel like we're like sort of like at war with the algorithms now because we are horror content creators?
I definitely think the algorithm is the issue. It's not other creators. I mean, there's so much content out there, don't get me wrong, but like I definitely think the algorithms, like they keep changing them, and it's not just YouTube, it's everything. It's like Instagram especially, and Facebook and TikTok and all that crap. But like they definitely are changing it and making it more difficult to be seen for sure. And I know Instagram,
they want you to pay. They want you to
exactly. Jamie was telling us about Instagram's new thing where you have to pay extra just to be seen. And I'm like, why should I pay to have my followers see my content? Like,
right.
It's stupid.
Right.
I post to your page, like your platform, because I can connect with people easier on Instagram than I can Facebook. So,
right.
Like, why would I pay so they can see it? If they want to see it, I guess they'll come to my page. I'm not paying you guys money. You guys are a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Yeah.
Right?
Quit being greedy. But look, you know, like it's been known that, you know, like we talked about Deadbeat in passing before the recording, and if they're having trouble with their algorithm, we're really in fucking trouble. You know what I mean? Like,
right? Then we're screwed. So.
Yeah, I'm actually friendly with Barbara, and I saw Barbara Crampton, like literally just trying to beg people to watch their new podcast, Scream Dreams, I think it is.
Yeah, and it's like, how are you having trouble? You're Barbara Crampton and Catherine Corcoran.
Right.
Exactly.
She is so gorgeous.
She is, and she is a lovely human being. I met her last year, and oh my God. I just talked with her about her article she wrote for Fangoria about women in horror. And like, she is so smart and so kind, and like we just chatted about that like the whole night. Like,
but the fact that she has to beg, it is just like,
I'm like,
what's going on? You know,
right? Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It doesn't make sense. It does not make any sense.
No.
And they're talking to like Jennifer Tilly, and you know, they have a
a
guest like every single time.
Yeah, and it's a big person. Like, it's huge.
Yeah.
And they're getting maybe like, you know, 3,000-4,000, you know, at a clip. And it's just like, how is that even possible? What's going on?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Anyway, guys, that's enough about the algorithm. It's just like.
Well, I did want to ask you guys, it kind of ties into this. Where do you see horror, whether it's content or movies or whatever, like where do you see horror in like the next 30 years or so?
I would really like to see it where it's like this whole like 4D world, you know what VR? I mean? Like VR kind of thing. Yeah. I think that's where we're going to eventually go. I mean, think about it. We already have VR world and all that. I think that it'll end up becoming like an interactive kind of thing eventually in time. Well, I mean, I hope so. Let's add a little sci-fi to the horror aspect.
Yeah.
Like I really hope that the horror, like you can put some VR glasses, the movie pops up and it becomes an interactive thing.
Right.
I think that'd be great.
But if you die, you die.
If you die, you die.
Oh,
you have to sign a waiver, right? Like, you know what you're getting into.
Right. I love it.
I love that.
So not only does it knock out some of the population, you know,
there's some people that I'll buy some VR glasses for. So. Watch this movie.
That whole Baptist church. Hey, try this movie.
Exactly.
Put the glasses on.
Put your glasses on. What to me?
No, I'm gonna be dead honest. I think a lot of horror is going to focus a lot more on.
This movie's called Spiders from Outer Space.
No, I think it's really. I think a lot of it's, you know, like it's always been topical, but I think it's definitely going to get a lot more topical as time goes on. And I think that the world is so absurd right now that, you know, like I don't know. It's gonna be like even watching The Boys now is just like, okay, yeah, I get what you're doing, you know, like I get what you're doing, like, and everything that you're saying is like, you know, supposed to be satire, but it's not, you know.
Nah, man, listen.
That's why the Onion
this Gen Alpha
stopped years ago, because they were just like, we can't even write satire anymore.
Savage as fuck. Gen Alpha is savage as fuck. I think the future of horror is gonna get gory. It's going to get absolutely disgusting. It's going to be so much fun. I think the Gen, I mean, I don't know. I think like the super younger generation is going to come up, and they're going to come up with some slasher movies, monsters. I think they're going to keep it real.
I hope so, but I don't see that. I think that people are. I just saw an article today. Somebody was bitching about some classic movie being too gory or whatever.
Have you not
I think it's going to be
to our 9-year-old son? He is savage as fuck. I'm telling you. This generation coming up, they're going to make some really good horror.
We don't let our son watch horror movies.
Oh,
anyways. Yeah, me
No, we definitely don't do that. But no, I get what you're saying, but I just don't.
He tries to find it on his own.
I see a lot of articles where people are complaining about horror from the past, and I feel like that's going to bleed into the possibility of, just things being watered down a little bit. You know what I mean? But then, just like it happens all the time in all these decades, that's when the crazies come out. You know what I mean? Like the people are just yeah, absolutely. I
didn't even ask for allowed to curse on this show. I am so
you
sorry.
can. It's fine.
Yeah, you can curse. God.
Swear like a sailor.
Like I mean, look at something like when Wes Craven did like Last House on the Left or something like that. That was so out of left field for people because it was just not it's not something you expect. And I think that's going to happen where you have these
you did
rebels.
Not need the 5-minute rape scene. I'm sorry.
I have a hard time with rape, revenge, or anything like that for sure. But I can recognize that as a fantastic movie. I did have a hard time watching it, and I'll tell you, it wasn't so much the killers; it was more because of the cops. Because I'm like, are you serious? Like they're right there. They're right there, and you're so incompetent, and it's like
right.
Yeah. Just cops in horror movies,
that microwave scene, the microwave scene.
There's a black lady in a chicken truck for no reason.
Yeah, I like the microwave scene.
No reason.
I do think that horror over the next decade or two is definitely going to have more political satire, more commenting on how the world is. I mean, we've already started to see it a little bit, but horror's always had that, but it's kind of drifted away from that over the past 15 years or so. I feel like it's coming back.
I'm just really hoping that we open the doors for others aside from A24, aside from Blumhouse. Like, why are these the two? Like the ones that are just like the end all be all of horror. You know what I mean?
And Blumhouse used to be great. I used to get excited over Blumhouse, and now I'm just like, please stop. Like, just stop.
It's getting pretty bad. Like his model has always been, I'm going to put something out, cheaper, to make money.
So it makes more money, exactly.
Sure, but now it's like so obvious because these movies aren't good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
he
every
spends like 10 grand or 10 million or something on a movie, so it'll make like 50. And I'm like,
Night Swim, Imaginary, get the fuck out of here.
So you see a lot of that, like in the on Hulu, they have the Into the Dark series.
Yes,
a lot of that it's political horror.
Okay,
there's a lot of politics in their horror, but some of it's really good. But
sometimes it's hit or miss.
Right.
I try to.
There was one movie we watched, Ethan. It was on Shudder. I can't remember the name of it. I never can. But it's
right now. I'm getting on there right now.
Where this chick is working at a gas station. It's her first night, and there's this sniper that's like trying to take her out and taking out anybody that goes there. And like at the end, like throughout the movie, you get this assumption that this guy knows her previously, but we don't know, and it's that whole thing. But then he's got his whole monologue at the end, and he's clearly making a political commentary, but he keeps shifting between left and right. I'm like, what are you trying to say? Like, I'm not understanding.
Yeah.
Like, what side are you for?
Because the movie had the potential to be very good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
it had the potential to be very good. Then they threw all this politics into it, and you didn't even know what side they were talking about.
It was completely out of left wing.
I'm going to bash the right, and then the next sentence, I'm going to bash the left. Republicans suck. Democrats suck. Liberals are horrible.
And I was like, why does this have to do with this chick that you're stalking? Like, what is the deal?
This has nothing to do with the damn movie.
Now, I'm going to tell you, on Shudder, I did watch a really fun horror movie. I didn't tell Rob about it because he'd be like, oh, God, another one of those horrible horror movies you watched. Satanic Hispanics.
I saw that too. It's really good.
Fucking hilarious. It's awesome.
No, I didn't say that. That's Mike Mendez.
No, I love it.
Doesn't Mike Mendez do a portion of that? I think he does.
So yeah.
Did you watch the Slasher Ripper show on there?
Not yet.
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think the greatest horror that's out there right now.
I gotta see when
is I don't know if you've been paying attention to it, but AMC's Interview with the Vampire.
Yes.
Is
so good.
Some of the most astounding work I've seen in a long time. Yeah. I mean, like the acting, the set design, everything. If Sam Reed and Jacob Anderson aren't nominated for Emmys, there is no justice in this world.
There isn't. They won't get it.
You know.
Did you see Possum?
No.
Have not.
That's about a spider from outer space that eats people.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's actually this little girl that finds this spider that is like kind of cool looking, and then she feeds it little things, and it grows and grows and grows and grows, and then it gets really fucking big and starts eating everybody. And
he doesn't like spiders.
This thing is huge too. You're like,
I will invade hell with a squirt gun. I will wrestle. I will wrestle Freddy Krueger. I don't care.
No, this is.
Come here. Show me a little spider, and I'm gonna shriek like a bitch.
Same.
No, this is just like one giant spider from space. That there's one Spanish movie that's also on Shudder too. That like if you have arachnophobia, don't even bother.
Oh, is that Infested?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch that. That's on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm actually sitting here on my thing, and I'm like, oh, did you see that?
We have
this is what I do. Like, oh, did you see that one?
We actually have two Joro. We have two Joro spiders that are actually out in our breezeway. They're actually quite beautiful. Those Japanese spiders are actually really beautiful.
Ethan would not be able to visit.
No, we'd have to. We'd have to meet at the Chili's, or I'd have to come in the back door.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we live in a complex by the woods, and like, if you don't like spiders, there's a lot here. There's a lot.
They're the big ones.
Actually, on my property too, because I live out. I live in Chicago. I live in the suburbs, and I live on 5 acres. So there's like spiders all over, and it freaks me the hell out. I'll call my wife. I'm like, come get that sumbitch before I leave. It needs to go away.
Don't you keep a can of Raid?
So you'll never go to Australia.
Raid, can of Raid.
I've actually been there. Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I've been to Australia. And what's worse, I was in Lima, Peru, and there were spiders the size of steering wheels. I mean, they were freaking huge walking down the street. And I'm like, put my fat ass back on a plane because I got to go. I'm like, I need to be America bound, please.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God.
Absolutely crazy. So what about you guys?
I'm a plumber, so I have to get in like crawl spaces and stuff.
Oh no, hell no!
And they're like full of spiders. And I tell my workers, I'm like, go in there, get all the cobwebs and everything off before I come in. I'm not worried about like going down there and finding a dead body or something. I'd be like, okay, yeah, well, whatever. But spiders,
fine.
I gotta go.
5 spiders, no. So like, what is your your mission statement when it comes to Bloody Essentials? Because I know you guys just started recently this iteration.
Yeah. Our main goal is to promote as many creators as possible. Like I said, whether that is podcasters, we've had authors on before, artists. We've got some indie filmmakers that are coming up who we're really excited about to plug their movies that, whether it's going to be on Tubi or YouTube for free, like anything we can to get the word out, because like these people live and breathe horror like every single day, just like us.
Yeah.
But like people don't like, especially at cons, like people go to meet the celebrities and it's like the artists are the reason why you have the con. Like they are literally paying for the celebrities to be there with the money they put for the tables and all that crap.
Well, I have an opinion when it comes to that. And, look, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan or whatever, but like when they started bringing acts from the Walking Dead into the con scene, that really hurt things.
It killed the con. That's when we stopped going.
It killed the con.
That's when we stopped going.
Yeah.
I actually have a
because we took our son when he was little. We took our son to conventions.
Yeah.
But if I can't get my horror purses No, I'm sorry. And I still have some, and they're being held together with freaking duct tape and electrical tape. Okay, I'm just saying.
Years ago, I actually did press for there was a Walker Stalker convention, which is a Walking Dead convention. Before like you've probably heard of it because it was nothing but bullshit. Nobody got paid. But I was working press at one of them, and I was just the first one that I did. The actor who played Bub from Day of the Dead was right there as soon as you walk in the door, and nobody was stopping except for guys like us, you know what I mean, like a couple people here and there. I spent the entire weekend with him, and like just seeing these people walking, to get past him to go to Andrew Lincoln or whatever, you know what I mean? It was just so crazy to me. It's like you have history right here. And you don't even know.
And how much longer is he going to be around? Like,
Yeah. So the crazy thing was, at the time, there was a scene in The Walking Dead.
He's gone.
Nicotero had done an homage to Bub on one of the Walking Dead episodes, and I told him about it. And then all of a sudden, wouldn't you know it, like Nicotero is walking this way, and he goes, really? He goes, I should thank him. I haven't seen him since, the last movie we did together, which was Day of the Dead. So I literally saw him hugging Greg Nicotero, and I'm snapping pictures like a little fanboy because I'm like, you guys have no idea what you're witnessing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yes. Nobody had any clue.
110% agree. I was at a con, I think it was a year or two ago. I think it was 2 years ago, and they had Nick Castle, the original Michael Myers, next to David Howard.
Who I've never met. Never met him.
Yeah. He's so sweet. But they had Nick Castle and then David Howard Thornton and Damien and all of the Terrifier people were right there. And it's like, obviously the Terrifier people are huge right now, and their lines were ridiculously insane. But then you have Nick Castle, who is literally responsible for one of their first slashers. There was no one at his table.
Really?
Like, no one. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, how
I would have just sat down in a chair, plopped right next to him, and been just hanging with him the whole time. Talk to me.
I talked to him about his cat, like Michael Meowers.
Michael Meowers, yeah.
Aww.
He is so sweet. He loves talking about Halloween. Like,
dude, talk to me about Last Starfighter. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
and they love it. Like, they love talking about things they used to do. Like, he probably gets asked all the time about Michael Myers, and he still acts like it's a brand new question every single time, Like, he's just sweet. He's so sweet.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know he helped co-write the script for Escape from New York, which is actually celebrating anniversary today, 43rd, I believe. He's done a lot of stuff with Carpenter.
Yeah.
That I would just love to sit down and just pick his brain and be like, dude, just tell me. Tell me everything.
Exactly.
2018, I did I was doing press at it was a Fantastic Fest in Austin, and I was there actually for the Halloween 2018 premiere, which is just a wild story in itself. But so I was outside and I saw Austin resident damn it, Elijah Wood, yes. So like I'm just talking to Elijah Wood outside, and we're outside smoking cigarettes and shit, and I'm asking him about, because that was like, when Spectre Vision started to become a thing, and I started talking to him about Maniac and stuff. And I'll never forget it. And I'm sure he was joking, but he just said, hey man, look, I gotta go. It's been great talking to you, but thank you for not bringing up Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Have you seen, there's a really good movie of him. I can't remember when it's from, but it's called Daddy's Home or something like that.
Yes.
Oh my God. That is such a good movie.
What's that one called?
Daddy's Home.
Daddy's Home or something like that.
Yeah, he's got a nice little hairdo in that too.
He does.
Is it horror?
Yeah. It is, yes.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, that was through Spectre Vision 2, I believe.
Yes. That was right after Greasy Strangler, I believe.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Ooh.
Jamie likes that one. She's a big fan. I still haven't watched it.
You're a fan of the Greasy Strangler?
I am not. Jamie is.
Our other co-host is.
Oh really? Oh
she
wow.
Loves it. She loves it. I haven't watched it because I've heard some things, but I will eventually. I feel like that's probably one that we have to do because
it sounds very trauma.
Yeah. Well, that's right up her alley. So she loves
trauma. Oh, trauma?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. She loves trauma. I'm more full moon kind of girl. So
speaking of which, dude, what the hell happened to Toxic Crusader?
Is it not happening now?
I don't know. Like they premiered it last year and then like nobody heard of it again.
I thought it was supposed to be coming out this fall. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Fingers crossed.
Come to Daddy? Is that
is Come to Daddy? That's what it is.
Yeah, Come to Daddy.
Yeah.
Dude, I almost watched a whole different movie. And
Speaking of remakes, I know this is one.
That's on for free on Tubi.
Yes, that's where we watched it. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. And also on Pluto TV.
Speaking of remakes, I know this is like this is a harsh topic, but like, what do you think of the Crow remake?
Ethan, do you have any feelings about that? I think I've already said my piece on it.
I don't think you should screw with a masterpiece.
I agree.
But
I think it's going to be great. I honestly do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think a lot of people forget too that The Crow was always supposed to be a compilation of multiple stories. It was never supposed to be one. It was supposed to be many different characters. So you can actually take.
Well, that's what pisses people off is that Skarsgård is being called Eric Draven.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're doing Eric Draven again.
But I do think that Skarsgård is a great actor. I think he's going to do great. So
yeah, I think he's going to do the best he can with the material that was given.
I think Boy Kills World came out, and a lot of people slept on that. That was fucking entertaining as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Boy Kills World, you watched that, right?
I didn't watch it. I gotta watch it.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Did you not watch it?
I don't know, man. I've seen so many freaking movies.
But anyway,
I'll have to watch it again.
I honestly think he's already been through this situation before with Pennywise. Mm-hmm. And I remember years ago saying, when I think it was the first image of him released as Pennywise.
Yeah.
And I said, I will quit horror if this movie is not a huge success.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then I remember the trailers started coming out and people started going, oh, well, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really think that The Crow is going to it's going to shock some people. I think I like where this dude's going with it. I think the director's saying, like this is not supposed to be a Hollywood studio film. You know what I mean? Like we're trying to make it gritty like the graphic novel. Makes more sense than anything you could do with that project.
I think they use the name, but I don't even think it's the same story. I think
that's fine. That's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it seems very different.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope that it's good because I never want to, root for a movie to suck. That would just be ridiculous because people like they depend on those types of movies to be successful if they worked on it. So I wouldn't want it to be bad intentionally. But as of right now, I don't have high hopes just because the track record speaks for itself. Mm-hmm. And I do think that it's a very sensitive issue for a lot of people because a lot of people feel like it should have been left alone due to Brandon Lee, obviously. I love the original. I always will. I love the graphic novel. So I'm hoping that, there's a lot of love for this project and I hope that it is, successful. I could sit here and talk with you guys all night long, but we also have jobs. So yeah. But we'll definitely have to have you guys back sometime.
Oh,
if we ever have a situation that you'd be interested in terms of like our themes to the show, we would definitely have you guys on as
say less, please. Like anything to talk horror. Yes, absolutely.
We'll give you the homework.
Yeah.
Please hit us with it. We would love
that. Yes. The homework would be watching the movies.
Oh darn!
Oh yeah.
Hate watching movies.
Guess what? You can just go to Wikipedia. It's fine.
Ew, no.
I can't do that. No. But
this little thing right here. This little thing right here. Right here. Yes. You can watch movies anywhere.
Yeah. Yes. I just want to tell you guys that we're so grateful for you having us on. And
yes, thank you so much.
I know we're, even though like we've been in the industry for, so long and like different aspects of it, like, at this point now, with us with the show, like, and because of the algorithm and stuff, we do feel like a very small fish in a big pond. And you know, to have people like you that actually care about people's, you know, content, and the people that are actually bringing horror to the forefront, like, it means so much to me, because there, you know, like, there needs to be people like you out there, because we are just getting flushed into this, you know, like I said, this just whirlpool of just there's people constantly trying to, you know, entertain in the horror genre.
Yeah.
You know?
Anything we can do for you guys and vice
Absolutely.
versa. Like, this means so much just to have you guys on. So we really
thank
appreciate
you.
Seriously taking the time for your wedding anniversary to be here.
Right?
I mean, this is an idea of fun for us. So. It really is. Yeah.
We're going to ask our followers to go to YouTube and follow and subscribe to you guys as well.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you.
The link will be in the description of the video, and we're also going to go ahead and put it on our Linktree page, so all of our guests can easily be accessed. So, you know, you guys can get your followers that way as well. So
absolutely,
yeah, that'd be wonderful. And you know, of course, you know, the same goes to you guys. I will sing your praises high. But yeah, thank you, because like, we really do care about this channel, and you know, I think we got some pretty good content. You know,
I mean,
I was literally saying to Ethan yesterday, I was like, for only like being out a year on this channel, like, obviously you guys have been doing other things for a lot longer, but like, the content quality is incredible. Like, incredible. You don't see that on a lot of channels. Usually the first few videos are really rough and the audio is shit. But like, your guys, from like day one, it was perfect, you know? So
thank you.
Seriously, you are doing a great
Sometimes
job.
our audio is shit. I think the last episode, I think the Maxine episode, like, I think the microphone might have tilted towards her a little bit, and then I was going through the editing process, and I'm like,
it's because he's very active, so the microphone gets like pushed towards me. That's why you'll see me sometimes. I'm like,
all right, guys, much love. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All righty,
take care. Bye.
Bye bye.